background of Urban Chestnut is not good. The name Urban Chestnut, a lot of people have asked us, you know, it sounds like something you just pulled out of the air. I can actually tell you that David Wolf, after marketing the name Urban Chestnut, is pretty methodical about everything he does, and everything we try to do, we really like to have substance and story behind it. The chestnut tree is really the German brewmaster. Brewing worked with electricity, and they needed ice to cool down the cellars. They would cut ice from the rivers, and what they would do is they would build underground cellars. They would drag the ice, which took, you know, basically half the building in some cases, down into these. The ice would last throughout the summer. They would plant chestnut trees around the cellars. So of course, like you guys, like us, our brewery, everybody sort of hangs out by school because that's where all beer is. And organically, these areas became beer gardens. So if you ever go over, you have to go to Spot and Rinder or any of the beer gardens, they're surrounded by chestnut trees because essentially that's where the beer stuff is. And you have the cellars. The urban part of our name is we believe that craft beer is more than just about making great beer in small batches. We believe it's about regenerating our communities, and we actually think that it's part of the regrowth of urban America. And so we'll never be suburban chestnut. We have we will continue to put breweries, projects, and areas that we see in our drink corner, and we want to support and regrow. Urban Chestnut is also split into our two categories of beer. We split all of our beers into the Reverence and Revolution categories. The Reverence, of course, being Urban and Chestnut being Reverence. You'll see that all of our Reverence beers are typically European classic styles. American lagers, light beers, Belgian styles, and then what our Reverence here will usually be is a variation or some sort of a different take on one of these classic styles. Of course, at the end of the day, we are very much defined by our master. Wine is our identity. And thank you so much. Oh yeah, sure. Yeah. You're joking, right? You really don't want to stop. So to really understand Urban Chestnut, we really are an extension of the story and his story. And not to over-romanticize the guy, but you know, I've known Corey for about 5 years, and he really is anything over. So I'm just give you his background real quick. So we're born in Goudan, Germany, and at 17, he became the youngest apprentice ever at some local brewery there, Bavaria, Goudan. He did so well, he caught the eyes of the Schnickelfritz University people. So they brought him in on a scholarship, and he very quickly received his brewing science, or his master's in science of brewing. While he was at Schnickelfritz, he interned several times at Google, and really grew an appreciation of development style. And after Google, he brewed Beck's for a period, and after Beck's, he went and started Meantime Brewing in England. which now, in the meantime, is pretty much a powerhouse. Unfortunately for Florian, he didn't have any ownership stake in the company. He eventually parted ways. They grew to be very large, and he took the opportunity to come over and oversee the worldwide yeast strain for Anheuser-Busch. He gave, to give you a little background on Anheuser-Busch and the way that the Busch family and that machine look at their yeast strain. We can all sit here and agree. You can say whatever you want about Anheuser-Busch products, but you've never had to the taste of triple. And that's because that consistency is based on their very healthy and very long-standing yeast strain. So it's very coveted, and up until recently, only Germans would oversee it, and it was only spoken about in German. So if you were an American-born brewmaster, you had to learn German if you wanted to be involved in the conversations. So Florian's, the mentor, Heinrich, I don't know if you guys know any of these old German brewmasters, but they are characters. Heinrich came in, started pouring under his wing, pouring oversaw the yeast strains, and then while he was doing that, he managed the Michelob pilot brewery. Florian brewed Shock Top, which is actually the original recipe of our beer here with. You know how it works in Anheuser-Busch. We brew a beer, and they have to make sure it's going to sell over 10 million barrels. So you have some big multi, orange peel and coriander beer. They're gonna alter it a little bit to make sure it appeals to everybody. But for a long time after we left Anheuser-Busch, Florian's picture was on the bottom of Shock Top, which we couldn't believe. Certainly August III wasn't around anymore because you wouldn't have seen that in the old days. Basically after the end of buyout, Florian and his now business partner David Wolf, they worked together. I don't know if you guys remember, but Anheuser-Busch did a really cool program in which they invited the public to come in and vote on different beer styles. This is Schnickelfritz. Okay, I'll speed it up. To vote on different beer styles and create different beers. I don't know if you guys remember Fuel Kick Stout, even Outguard, any of these. Well, these were some regional beers. They got really wonderful acclaim, and they didn't do anything with beers. So I think at that point, David and Florian essentially said, you know what, we could do this. We could do this on our own scales. We could do this with our passion, and we could promote the beers. And essentially, in 2011, we opened up the Urban Chestnut Brewery and Beer Garden in Midtown. And just recently, earlier this year, we opened up now the Urban Chestnut Brewery Beer Hall. So we now have 2 locations here in St. Louis. And if you guys get the opportunity to come by and check it out, please ask for me or any one of us. Let us know that we met here, of course. And we certainly have to take you through a tour and do a little tasting. So just remember, Josh.
You guys will show up.
Yeah. I'll make sure I stick to my word. So just let me know. Our second location is the new one we just opened up in the Grove at Manchester in Midtown. The first one is it's in Midtown off Washington. It's right here. Our first one is a true Bavarian beer garden. Sits outside. It's a winter sign. It's the actual benches are in fact everything we source is our hops from out of town. Our grease, most of our malt comes from Germany, and so do all of our equipment. So yeah, if you guys come on by, you feel like you're in our place, just celebrate our Oktoberfest section. Kick it off, kick it off just back in the 21st. That's more or less. Any other questions before we taste some Schnickelfritz? So this is not our flagship, but this is really, I think, the beer that I most closely associate with Florian's experience. Wine Stefaner, vice beer yeast. So it's about 50% Pilsner malt, 50% wheat malt. Finishes with notes of banana and clove, just like that traditional. I don't know if you guys have had, but it's a nice finish, and like I said, the predominant takeaway is most people just banana.
I've always thought that this beer might be able to get bronze this honor.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
It's that banana flow thing.
Yeah. Florian, as I told you about, Adam, yeast guys tend to be also yeast pirates. So he has a yeast collection of 300 to 400 of stolen yeast in our lab, and we have two pretty extensive labs at both locations. And he's not afraid to sort of use these yeast strains from different breweries, and he's trekked around the world, and I certainly appreciate that because
You can still talk about sales. Sure.
we do follow this. This is part of our fourth flagship. We do distribute through Grable guys are here tonight in Canada, which is sugar here in County, St. Louis County. And you'll be able to find this beer, Schnickelfritz, anywhere beers are sold. Of course, Schnickelfritz is just a German slang type word. I'm sure lots of people in the room have stories about being called or hearing someone call a child Schnickelfritz. Of course, a word that means rascal or scam. We get a lot of flack from people saying that our beer names are hard to remember or hard to pronounce. Casual 12 is our Oktoberfest this year, which is tailed as well. Sort of a phonetic combination of things that's part of it. Second beer we're going to try is this Goudan. Goudan, which is the abbreviated term for the street in Berlin. Napoleon once called this the champagne of the north. It is again, it's a wheat. It's built of wheat malt, and they use it is lactic acid because of that. Yeah, what I really like about the beer is that although it's sour, you can pass it off as sour and pour it. Really, I find it to be incredibly refreshing. One thing I would say about 40 beers, a lot of people will say is a lot of times they're very easy to drink. I don't think you brew anything really that you wouldn't want to drink yourself. And a lot of other times I would find that this would probably be a sour beer that you'll see. They actually employ a sour mash in the kettle. So, one thing I did want to tell you guys too today is, as a sales guy, I wish I could give you more insight, but as far as the brewing process, but being the sales guy, they lock us out of a lot of rooms. I think we're screwing everything up.
What are you guys tasting? I'm curious because this is one of my favorites for drinking. You guys getting smell? I personally find this to be very much like sour beer. Yeah.
So, I don't know if you guys have tried it. Come by the brewery. We do serve it in the traditional style as well at the brewery, which is to add a little bit of woodruff, blackberry currant or elderberry or pear syrups to it, and it's truly actually a very cool effect. And what I love about it is too is people come into our brewery and you can see all these people on the people walking around red beers and purple beers, and you think like right away you're like that must be something kind of that must be like Mike's World Lemonade, raspberry or something. It's really the traditional old world way to serve it, and it's actually really delicious and refreshing.
Talk about this for a second. What you about why they do that? Why? hear they do too with what they're adding.
Yeah, no, well, so they're the Woodruff. I don't know if you guys have done Woodruff, but I would recommend you go over and try it. Green has almost kind of mint style quality to it. It completely changes the taste of the beer. And you know, I don't think I don't think that I don't know if mixing and experimenting with beer has really ever been that out of style in Germany. And we order all these syrups, we get them directly, and I mean, I guess they've been putting Woodruff syrup in winter license for 100 years. So, really, that's awesome. Yeah, me too.
So the first beer is Schnickelfritz, the light beer. Tell us again what style this beer is, what the difference is.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing, this is something I would imagine. Imagine you're dealing with more of the ale yeast because there's no, you're not getting that Bavarian Meister yeast, you're not getting any of that banana. It's pretty much the same malt bill. Like I said, it's certainly not a. Yeah, I mean it would be an ale yeast. So I would really say what differentiates it is the yeast style and of course the adding of lactic or the element. Trying to see if I had anything there. Oh, we also bottle with beer. You saw we're taking them out as part of our late summer mix pack. We do sell it at the brewery. So if you guys are wanting to purchase bottles of Goudan, we also have them in this case. But like I said, it's part of our summer sample. Actually, I apologize. All the beers are part of our late summer sample. Right? But you probably missed it. Which you'll find in anywhere craft beer is sold. Yes, sir. Yeah. So, Schnickelfritz, I believe, is our lowest IBU beer. I think maybe you guys did choose to look it up, but I think, I'm pretty sure Schnickelfritz is 15 IBUs. There's really, in fact, it really, and I'm gonna follow. I'd like to get I can tell you this, and both are about 5.2% alcohol, and I know Schnickelfritz's IBUs are. It's on the website. We're very low. In fact, the music has more IBUs. And I didn't want to so I don't have. I would love it. Now we got it. On the Goudan or the so right now it's practically 16 IBUs in a row. Yeah. What's the full name for Goudan? It's abbreviated. It is abbreviated. You said it was from A to Z and A. I'm sorry. No, not at all. I appreciate that you're asking me the question. Really? Oh, I got it. Okay, it's right on the bottom. No, it is. Oh, it has a picture of the street. First person.
Yeah, or your shops.
Oh, yeah. We produce about, we produce anywhere between 80 to 100 styles a year. So, yeah, you went over the ebook right now. Probably have yeah, we have, in fact, that we pretty much ran out of our we had Oktoberfest, which was very successful. We had 150 kegs of Oktoberfest, and so we did bottle quite a bit of the Ketchup Storm, so if you guys want to try it, it's out there. We'll still find it in bars and restaurants, but yeah, we usually produce about 100 different styles, and I mean it's pretty much like I said. We have some beers coming out right now. We have Pilgrim 7, which is a nice hoppy beer that we use all 7 fermentable grains. You might try to do that right now. It's and also what's the other one coming up? North beer. North beer is the next one coming out. North beer is our German Dunkel. I really recommend it. And yeah, like I said, so you guys come on down to the brewery.
What does it take to get those to the point where you're gonna bottle them?
Oh yeah. Usually it's not so much of a size or a volume as much as the style that we'd like to represent. For example, I'll let you guys in on one of the things that we've done. We've been putting out these sampler packs, and we found that it's an awful lot to ask somebody to spend $20 on a sampler pack for 8 bottles. So what we've also kind of come to the realization is that we've got to also kind of give people exciting new foods and things to the kids. So one of the things we're going to do, this one was wheat beer versus IPAs. We're going to do a Pilsner versus IPAs, and we're actually going to bottle 4 wheat beers for the first time. One is Fantasyland, it's an Imperial IPA, and the other one is Imperial Pilsner. So it'll be a fun sample pack that'll be out. So I mean, yeah, the idea is basically it's not so much that these beers have reached some sort of critical mass. You know what I mean? It's really just like now we're bottling. It's more of being kind of finding what styles fit.
You have the account for locker account.
Bottles, yeah, we just released bottles. No, it's in a 4-pack now. Let's talk about the power lock again. We got that on tap and not tasting it tonight. Okay, so yeah, you walk us through the half round. Sure, absolutely. Yeah, let's talk about half round. So half round, of course, is a session IPA. We did this 4 years ago. We did half round, and this was before. Some guys have had some really amazing commercial success. I mean, Founders All Day IPA and some of these, I mean, really had some huge impact. Since then, we're like, when we brewed that beer, it's a session beer, we brewed it 4 years ago, we should do it again. So this is Amarillo and Mandarina Bavaria. I think they have really great hop notes on it. I mean, I know the, I do think you could definitely light the body. I think they did a very good job of going much lighter in the body. It doesn't feel like it doesn't feel like a mainstream lager like. I think they definitely use enough caramel, but it's only about 4.2% alcohol. You didn't read the IBUs, did you? 35 IBUs. So it's a little beer with a big hoppy nose. Of course, I was gonna say they do an aggressive dry hop on it, really to make sure that they use enough Amarillo and Mandarina Bavaria. Just to let you guys know real quick, they have a wonderful relationship. Probably my favorite thing about the brewery with our hop growers, Hallertau being the Bavaria region where they grow the German hops. Basically a lot of those noble hops we find in Pilsners and lagers. Hops called Little Fruit, Tradition. Like I said, they come from the Hallertau region. One of the really cool things is we have a group of friends, another guy named Florian Seitz, who's about Florian's age. I've never met another Florian in my life. We brought him over for Holiday Fest, and they presented. But we actually, they're pretty much a normal staple at our brewery. They own a beautiful hop farm, like I said. We send our people over, they send their people over to our place. And really nice combination, or collaboration. So the Mandarina Bavaria in
beer is something that they grow on the farm. So like I said, it's something I enjoy. There are all a bunch of fun stuff on it. I think everybody in German brewing community has been seeing something somehow to find stuff. I really see people that. So half crown, yes.
I was just gonna ask, like, with your sales background, is there like a target market that you're going for with that session IPA?
Yeah.
Tasting the STLIPA and the hop and, you know, it's just not the same. And I'm just wondering if it's like, supposed to be like an IPA junior to get people into the bigger stuff, or if there's...
You know, I really think that this works for us and against us in a lot of ways, but I think our beers are very accessible, easy to drink, and I think some people would want to categorize it sometimes as like, we feel like it's like gateway or anything. I really think that our styles tend to lead towards more easy drinking style. I actually think that like Hoffman and STLIPA are, even though they're part of our kind of flagship series, I think that they're probably do those. I think those don't actually fit as far as our main, you know, core beers. I think those are definitely. I can tell you that I remember Florian. I think he altered STLIPA many times in the beginning, trying to figure out. And sometimes I was getting his hair, sometimes I was getting, you know, and I really think that he kind of took a while to find his comfort level, because I don't think he brewed a lot of IPAs in his career, and I think it was sort of like kind of an experimentation on his part. I think this beer is something he would tell you is much more in style of the Urban Chestnut. It's kind of more, you know, accessibility. And, you know, we serve leaders, you know, so it's you know, we like beers that you can drink 2 or 3 liters. And like I said, some people think that's commercial or mainstream. I don't know. I mean, you know, all I know is that he's not to sound at all like you look at it from like, you know, being arrogant, but it's just like it seems like it's got a very nice reception from a lot of people that seem to kind of appreciate that, you know, that accessibility. Yeah. Yeah, they're so now with the 2 breweries and the old brewery. If you guys go to the old brewery too, you know, if you're gonna, like I said, I'll get my information. Feel free to shoot me an email. But the old brewery is now become more of a beverage facility. So we're going to, you know, what's really nice is we'll use that as a pilot brewery. So, you know, if you have 13 fermenters, 5 right here tanks, I mean, you could, at any given time, you could technically be aging, you know, 14, 15 years. I mean, they're really, so, yeah, I mean, I think the brewery's working very hard. I think they probably work harder than they, I think they're, you know, the new breweries really kind of helps out their lives, but I think that, yeah, it's a lot of beer. They seem to, you know, continue to be something out. Any questions about half crown? Oh my God, I'm sorry. So STLIPA, as I said, this was like a beer, you know, you kind of kept changing, and so it's 8.1%. I think you find that to be surprising. You drink it and it doesn't taste, to me, it doesn't taste 8.1%. One of the things is I think if it is AOU, it tastes very clean. Considering the fact that there's about 75 pounds of hop there. There's actually 6 separate hop additions on the beer, and when they're adding all these different styles. And I think if there's 5, it's a Cascade, Chinook, Sterling, Mountain Hood, Cascade, this one? Willamette. Yeah, Columbus, Willamette. Anyway, it's a lot of hops. And they add 6 different times during the, I had something. If any of you homebrewers, I know they, it was during the mash hop, the first wort, kettle, multiple times during the kettle, and of course the dry hop. By the way, too, I hope I mentioned the fact that they dry out the heck out of the pasture. You have to. Okay. Amarillo, yeah. It's a we've had some funny situations with this beer because, like I said, it doesn't taste like 8%. But we've had some kind of stalls that we've had people even once or three.
It does not taste like it.
No, it doesn't. It really doesn't. So it has the effect still.
Was it STLIPA? STLIPA.
Yeah. Right. So we call it STLIPA.
Okay.
Well, that's what we call it. And you know what, we put it out there as like, you know, let's see what happens. Because, well, actually, we put it out there as STLIPA, but then we heard people saying STLIPA. And we were like, wow, I can't believe people are talking about how great is that. So, you know, like, well, you know, but yes, it is STLIPA. And the, like I said, we have some more, what's that, what is that? What's that called? Well, that's not her miss. Acronym? Acronym? But isn't it acronym? Well, it would be almost acronym. Yeah, right, just saying. Okay, you're right. So it's really hard. Same. I'm not a brewer, I'm not an English.
Definitely an acronym. So out of the half round of STLIPA, just to show at the end, I know you'd like to know this. One is that which one, you can ask raise of hands, how many of you guys prefer the half round?
What did I do? No, he turned on the chat.
And this STLIPA, how many of you guys prefer?
They went on before
Yeah, out of the Schnickelfritz and Goudan. Schnickelfritz being the first one, Goudan being the second. How many of you guys prefer the Schnickelfritz? And how many of you guys prefer the Goudan? That's amazing. That'll make Ashley really happy. It's pretty interesting because it seems pretty even. Yeah, even split.
Yeah.
Two different styles, really. Sure. 4 years, we tasting.
Still pretty quiet.
All right. Well, I'm going to have you do some trivia questions.
Yeah, sure, absolutely.